Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Elite City. What's up, Rick?
Hey, not much. And pretty. I don't have anything witty to say. I was trying to think of something, but I can't.
It's all good.
So
It's all good.
so how's that for an opening?
That's it's as good as it gets. As good as it's gonna get.
We're gonna hook those listeners.
That's right. And after last week, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, definitely.
So much happened in the week that was AEW. It's almost. I know we talk about it all the time, being like back into this and having fun again. But last week was so much fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It was surprises, debuts, just solid wrestling. It was just a great week.
Yeah, the last like few weeks of Dynamite have been excellent.
Yeah, I they really put the exclamation point on we have a pay-per-view coming. They don't just say like, oh, okay, we got a week to go. We'll figure it out. No, they start like a month in advance, and they're just sucking everyone in, and it's fantastic. We had both Rampage and Dynamite from Houston, Texas. Thought the crowds were good. Texas is known for wrestling, so like me and you could have a match in Texas, and I think would be appreciative. Like,
side note, I didn't like how they like whatted William Regal, but other than that, good crowd.
I hated when people did that in like 2002.
Right, like that was old then. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, it's wrestling. You're there to have fun. I'm not gonna knock you. Well, I guess I just did knock everybody for it, so maybe I will knock you for it. We're gonna start. We have a lot to talk about with this Owen tournament. A lot happened, as we just said. A lot happened this week, but the Owen tournament is full swing, man. We had the subtitle on Wednesday on Dynamite was Wild Card Wednesday. I love when Tony does that. It just makes the show seem special.
Yeah, did they add one for this week? Is it like 3-year anniversary show or something?
I think they did, but I don't like. They're not pushing it like they were Wild Card Wednesday,
right?
But they have been mentioning that it's the 3-year anniversary of AEW.
I like the little subtitles. It makes it fun.
It makes it feel special. It makes it feel like that it's not just a run of the mill show. Like,
right.
I don't know. What we saw, always Tony calling curveballs. Samoa Joe versus the debuting Johnny Elite.
Yes. Or as the AEW Twitter account says, Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano. That was fantastic. The person that messed that up, I really hope their punishment was just everybody laughing at them because that was so good. They couldn't have done it any better.
It was great.
It was. It was a great match. Joe gets the win. I don't know if Johnny was a little nervous. He had a couple. It was a slow start, we'll say.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose or it was a slow start, but by the end, man, they were rocking. And
right.
I really hope that Johnny Elite is all elite.
Right. I also really love how he changes his name depending on which company he works for.
It's amazing.
I think it's great.
It's
and yet when he was in WWE, it was Johnny Nitro.
I never even dawned on me. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. Oh wow, that is great. What was he in? He had a good name in Lucha Underground too.
Johnny Mundo, wasn't it?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yes. And it was Johnny Impact and Johnny Game Changer.
I didn't even know he was in Impact. That's amazing. Yeah. Wow. See, that's some professional wrestlers just get it. And
it's fun.
He gets it. And that's amazing. Now the ending of that match, even though the pin was clean, we had Joe jumped by Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and my boy Satnam Singh again. They attacked him with the pipe. You know, they're playing up the injury angle leading into his match with Kyle O'Reilly. But I have a feeling Joe's going to make it to the finals and Lethal costs him the match. And because all these matches have been clean, the final will be the final would be the cheater. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But that's just the feeling I'm getting.
Yeah, it would make sense because there is going to be a I don't know who, Samoa Joe versus either one of the three of them, Dutt
Right.
or Lethal or Satnam Singh or all three, but it's probably not going to be a Double or Nothing because Double or Nothing seems pretty full.
Right.
So having Joe go to the final makes sense.
And lose,
Yes.
which I just hope it's clean.
Yeah.
Like, they could jump him again all they want, but if he loses or wins and they jump him again, I'm okay with that. I don't want it to be a win with an asterisk by it.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't seem like an AEW thing.
Agreed.
To have a tournament final end in a screwy finish, but you never know.
But then again, it's, we always talk about the curveballs, and that would be a great one.
Right.
I would just complain. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix. And before we even get into the match, I know I brought it up on the outline here. Phoenix walking the top rope without holding anybody's hand into a Hurricanrana. Dude is not human.
He's insane.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
I've never been in a wrestling ring, but I've tried to walk a tightrope, like a couple inches off the ground, and how that guy did that is, it was fluid.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you consider it's a wrestling ring, it's not the most stable thing. It shakes, it moves. There's probably sweat on the ropes. Like that's
baby
hard.
Oil, like
yeah.
Oh, that was utter insanity. Like that could have went so wrong in so many different ways, and the fact that it didn't was just unbelievable. But back to the match. Kyle O'Reilly, man, he put on a clinic, but so did Phoenix. I was very surprised at Phoenix's actual wrestling skill.
It was a good, as I think JR would say, it's a good like clash of styles. Like you wouldn't expect that match from either of them. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly more so, but yeah, Ray Phoenix is more of a high flyer, and he did his high flying, but he also wrestled, which was good.
Yeah, and his high flying made sense in the match. Like he would work the arm and then do a flippity flip off the top rope and hit the arm. Like it was done really well. A lot of submissions in the tournament, which I thought is a very nice little tip of the cap to the Hearts in general.
Right.
I mean, we're getting pins too, obviously, but that's like I'll have to go back and check my notes, but that's like seriously like the third submission finish in this tournament, which I think is amazing. I think that's really cool. That's what the Hearts were known for. They were known as chain wrestlers, and that's what this has become. And I hope it stays this way.
Yeah, I would. Like I said, it doesn't seem like an AEW thing to end it with a screwy finish, but you never know.
Yeah, it's just so good and so fun. I know I keep saying that, but it is. And we had Britt Baker and the kind of sort of debut of the awesome Maki Ito. She is the coolest thing ever.
Her thing, I don't care what else they did in the match, her thing with her head being really hard is always funny.
It's hilarious. And the way she stiffens up and just smiles and just commits totally.
Always funny. Yeah. It was kind of like it was an extended squash. I mean, no one really expected her to win, but it was fun.
Absolutely was it fun. And she is, everybody saw the picture that was posted, I think, by Danhausen with him Maki Ito and Hook. That needs to be a stable.
That would be quite the stable. I would like that.
I don't care what anybody says. It was amazing. Oh, by chance, little off subject here. Did you watch Danhausen's new vlog on YouTube?
No, I didn't.
He has a segment where he just gives chips to Hook and has his opinion on them. It was about a minute and a half long. I haven't laughed that hard in weeks. If you have a minute later, just put it on. It is absolutely hilarious. Hook just it's like he's a silent film actor.
They're I know we'll talk about that later, but their thing together has been great.
Oh, it's amazing. Like he would eat a chip and then like cock his eyebrows up, like, "Oh, I like that." And Danhausen would be like, "Oh, I thought you would like that." It was hilarious. Britt Baker, again, another submission.
Yep.
I know that's her finisher though, but what's it called? The lockjaw. Another submission win, but the best part of that match was Toni Storm walk out at the end, walking down the ramp, just having the old-fashioned stare down, like I'm gonna get you, and there's nothing that can stop it, and just Britt playing the heel, like, well, I'm not scared, but I'm kind of scared. Like I dug it.
They've made that into a really good storyline, and they haven't done much between the two of them, but it was a big deal. Like it was a big stare down.
Yeah, it was. I think that is going to be a fantastic match.
Yeah.
Just to see those two lock up. And that is that Wednesday or Friday?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
Seems like something I should have.
Yeah, I should have
done research into, but
well, it's next week. It's or this
yes.
week. Today's Tuesday. It's on TV this week.
Sometime before Double or Nothing.
Exactly. And hey, we'll figure it out. Had the Jeff Hardy and Adam Cole match. I know I sat here and praised the clean wins, but the curveball of Cole jumping Hardy on the ramp, loved it.
Yeah.
It affected the match, but didn't affect the match.
That match is Wednesday, by the way.
Match is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It didn't affect the ending of the match, but it hell of a match. And then you had the ultimate setup for we're getting Bucks and Hardys, and everybody wins there. Jeff Hardy has really impressed me. Obviously, he was. I'm not trying to bash WWE. We say this every week when we do talk on WWE, but they must really suck your soul.
Yeah.
Because he just looks reinvigorated. He looks like he's like 15 years like younger, I guess. He just looked slow and old in WWE. That's just
and he's not Jeff Hardy from 20 years ago, but he's also developed. I mean, he wrestles differently, and I like it.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I love it. It's great. It shows the evolution of the person and the character, and the way that he's just upped his game, and I love it. And this match between the Hardys and the Bucks it's going to be one for the ages. Like, you just better not take your eye off your TV screen, because you're going to miss something.
You can't ever, and this sounds cliche, but you can't ever doubt the Young Bucks on pay-per-view.
Nope.
They manage to have great matches every single time. So
yes, and like I said, this is going to be one for the ages.
Yeah.
Just hold on, because you're going for a ride. And the last match of the week that we had from Rampage was Red Velvet versus Chris Statlander, and we had Ruby Soho on commentary, which that was the setup for whoever won the match.
Yep.
I thought these girls went hard, and it showed the work that Red Velvet has put in, because I wouldn't have said 3 weeks ago that she was on the same level as Statlander.
Right.
She looked like $1 million, and I don't know I have it in the notes. She was also named the Sports Entertainer of the Week, which I love every second of that too.
I love it because she really didn't do anything until this match.
Exactly, and Jericho just randomly, I think, says it on the show, and they have the little graphic for it. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
I think she's just a better heel.
Like, yeah, she's definitely a better heel.
Excuse me. The way that, I mean, I guess being a heel, again, I've never done this in my life, so I don't know. But I guess just, excuse my language, being an ass is probably a lot easier than trying to get people to like you.
Right. Yeah.
So, but she's damn good at it.
Yeah, she's good at it. She's doing a good job.
And
even like the little stirred up thing that she does when she was a face, that was super lame.
Yeah, now it's
but now it's like obnoxious, and I like it.
Yeah. See, it just all goes when you associated yourself with Brandy and Cody. Comes back to that. I hate to say that, but
I hate that we keep referencing Cody, but you kind of have to.
You do, because I mean the dude just doesn't get it, and well, we later we could talk about his awesome match he had with the Miz. When I saw the highlights of that, I almost felt bad for the guy. I didn't want to even laugh.
Yeah.
Coming up on my favorite stable now, the baddies jump Ruby after Statlander. Statlander gets the win. We'll back up a little bit. Then the baddies come to the ring and jump Ruby and Statlander, who Ruby came down to, quote unquote, I guess, make the save, got beat up. But
I actually really liked her on commentary too, which I was surprised by.
Yeah, she was very good on commentary.
Yeah.
But whenever she told Jericho off, that was she was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't like you either." Oh, it was
and she had like good nuance to her commentary. Like she clearly preferred Chris Statlander as a person, but probably also doesn't want to wrestle her.
Yes, exactly. That was very cool. It was a little nuance. She was very good at that.
Yeah.
As they're getting beat up, we had Anna Jay come down and beat up Mark Sterling on the ramp and steal his crush.
See, now I haven't watched Dark or Elevation. Is there a reason Anna Jay's here, or is she just here?
She has been hot on Elevation and Dark recently.
But does she have any interaction with Jade or the baddies? Like, why is she here all of a sudden?
Well, I think that was put in to just set up their match.
Yeah. Like she has no she has no existing storyline with them. She just showed up.
Yeah, they weren't jawing back and forth on Dark or Elevation or anything. It was just kind of this happened and they've made a match out of it.
Okay. So. I mean, I like her. She needs a match. It makes sense that she's a challenger. It seemed a little random for her to show up, but why not?
Yeah, and this is, Brody Lee fought for her for the Dark Order.
Yeah.
He told Tony Khan he wanted her in there. He saw something in her that maybe nobody, not that, I mean, she was hired, obviously, but I mean, he made sure she got national exposure. She got practice. And Anna has really turned into a top performer in the women's division.
Yeah.
I don't think she beats Jade, though, but we'll get to that later. You just got to keep Jade going, in my opinion.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's typed up too much, and she's good. I mean,
right.
Unless they want to put her in for the world title, but there's no need for that right now, personally.
Right. I'd wait on that.
So that leads us to, we have the updated brackets here, per se, for the Owen tournament. We have Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think Joe wins, personally. That
yeah, especially because they mentioned, it's going to be team us undisputed elite versus undisputed. Like, it's because they mentioned it. Now it probably won't happen.
And the fact that Kyle mentioned the finger poke of death.
Yeah.
Remember when what's his name did that to Hogan?
Yeah.
Nash. Oh, that made me so happy. We have Britt and Tony. I I think Britt has to win to set up a heel versus babyface final.
Yeah, I could see that.
And to me, to my opinion, that's going to be Ruby and Britt. And I think Ruby wins the whole thing. That's me.
I was thinking it could be Tony and Ruby, except that they're both faces, but only because they kind of had a partnership at the beginning. And this could kind of be a partners going against. They're setting it up for potential. They're setting it up for a potential for partner versus partner on both sides. I mean, they could be Kyle O'Reilly against Adam Cole, and then Tony versus Ruby. The only reason I think they might go Tony versus Ruby is because it's new.
That's true too.
They've done Britt versus Ruby before, but they're probably two of their bigger stars in the women's division, so shouldn't they be in the final? Like, it could go either way.
Unless they want to bump up Statland.
Right.
I mean, looking at it that way, you could, Chris doesn't have to win it, but her just being in the final would make an interesting story too.
Right.
I'm still going Ruby.
Yeah. The only reason I don't think Chris Statlander would win is because she wasn't actually in the tournament.
That's true. That is true.
But that's not to say that she won't, because Miro stepped into the whatever that men's tournament was that he stepped into for Moxley, and he made it to the finals.
Oh,
so
that's right. That is correct.
So you never know.
Never know. That's very good.
But there'll be good matches. I think the women's matches may actually be better than the men's matches.
There's potential for that. Absolutely. These women are the four that are left are all potential putting on bangers.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do that. They're gonna want that match of the night type. They're gonna want to steal that. That's what I was trying to say. Going on, we had an interesting match with Konosuke. Keshta.
It's Takeshita, isn't it?
Takeshita, yeah. I always mess it up when I see it. I can pronounce it until I see it written down. Then
right, because it's not spelled the way you would assume it's spelled.
Yes. Versus Hangman Adam Page with Punk on commentary.
It was so good.
So good.
Such a good match.
I've watched this match like 5 or 6 times.
And I know he's from DDT and he's like on loan to AEW.
Right.
And so, but he has to get signed at some point. He's too good.
I agree. And I've been reading like people want him to go for the TNT title.
Yeah,
I would be stoked on that.
That match was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it served its purpose. It served its purpose as like a challenge for Hangman Page before he faces Punk. It made him look good too. It was good.
Oh yeah. And the thing about it that you just don't expect Takeshita to do the things that he's capable of.
Right.
He's like, I'm trying to think of the word. He's a big man that moves small. That's the best way to put it. Like,
it's a little bit like Hangman, like how Hangman will do Hangman will do the moonsault, or he'll do even the what's it called? What's his finisher? How come I can't think of it?
A buckshot lariat.
Buckshot lariat. The flip is something that someone his size wouldn't normally do, but he does that too.
And it's again, it's fluid. It doesn't look forced. It looks very natural. And the way that he just moves in the ring, it's absurd.
How old is Takeshita? 26?
26. That's what I was just gonna say. With 10 years in ring experience.
That's incredible. Like he could be a big deal for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Like
yes. And I mean, Hangman gave the old little wink and nod up there to Punk on commentary when he used the GTS. Oh, is this match going to be good?
I liked how when Punk when Punk was mocking him, it bothered Hangman.
Yeah.
But when Hangman mocked Punk was kind of like, yeah, go ahead. That's what I wanted you to do. Like he's trying to play him. He's trying to throw him off.
Yeah, it was.
And it seems
wonderful.
like it's working right now.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. It was. This is what Hangman needed. It's, all these other feuds that Hangman has been involved in. they've been people that he has known, that he's worked with before.
Right.
This is really putting Hangman on like the national stage now. This isn't
And
like,
he's clearly a very good wrestler. Like his matches against like Lance Archer and Adam Cole, all very good matches.
Absolutely.
But he does his best with his character stuff. And he's got to show that his he's the only wrestler who as a top face is also kind of insecure, kind of doubts himself, kind of like, it's amazing. It's great character work, and Punk plays perfectly with that.
It is, and they're they might burn the place down.
Yeah,
like that match has nothing but potential.
I mean, I was thinking of the last couple pay-per-views, Full Gear and All In, and the best matches on those cards were Hangman's matches and Punk's matches.
That's very true.
So putting them in the same match, like it has to be good.
It has to be. And
I think they could have a bad night and it would still be great.
Oh yeah. I'm still, I go back and forth daily on who's going to win this.
That's what makes it even better, because most of the time you could tell. Like when Hangman faced Kenny Omega, unless there was some catastrophic failure, you were assuming Hangman was going to win. You wanted to see Hangman win. It was still exciting when he did win, but you kind of guessed he was going to win.
Yes.
But this one, I don't know.
I think we talked about it last week. I mean, as fans, you win either way, or we win either way, actually. If Punk wins, I mean, you get to see, dude hasn't had a title on him in damn near close to a decade.
9 years, 2013.
Oh, there you go.
and like I read that today, like January he lost it to the Rock at the Royal Rumble 2013, so basically the beginning of 2013.
And then if Hangman beats him, Hangman's on a whole new level.
Right.
So it's everybody wins in this one. If I'm going to be forced to pick, I'm going for me again. I say Punk just because I want to see it, but I don't know. That's me.
I think, and I don't know anything. I think Hangman might win this time, but it will be an incredible, close, tight match to the point that they get a rematch, and I think Punk will be more of a heel for the rematch, and I think he could win then.
Oh, then you got to have the third one.
A third one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this deserves more than if Punk wins, there'll probably be a rematch. If Hangman wins, this may be the end of the feud. I think this deserves, 3 matches.
And the way that they run pay-per-views, that could take us till the end of the year.
If they stretched it if they stretched it for the rest of the year, like they could do it.
Yeah.
Look at how long Hangman's story with Omega went. What was that, a year and a half?
Yeah, that's true.
They could stretch this out and it not have it feel stretched out. Like they could make it feel fresh for the next 6 months.
Yeah, and then just keep playing up the the rematch. Oh, well, it's 1-1. And then of course the rubber match has to be in a cage or some sort of collar match or
something.
Yeah, that's a great.
I could see that.
I could totally see that now that you say that.
The only reason I think that Punk might win is we mentioned it last week. We don't know how much. Nobody knows how long Punk has left. He's not old, but he's not young. Right. And you never know. He could get injured next week. And do you really want CM Punk in your company and not ever make him champion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like, he should be. Like, he's,
100% agree. A little off tangent again. When I was watching Dark earlier, talking about the end of the year already, they're already talking about ticket sales for August. That just blows my mind. Which they didn't announce Toronto yet. So
I know I'm still waiting.
It's coming. It's coming soon. It has to. It's coming. Trust me. We had the Jericho and Regal face-to-face segment, which give those guys a mic 8 days a week and just let them talk, and I could watch all day.
Yeah, I only wish Regal did more. He got in the comedy of the toothbrush thing.
No, the toothbrush thing was amazing.
I wish he would have had more. I know he's not the kind of guy to lose his temper and insult somebody.
Yeah.
So it worked.
It did.
But I kind of wish he had a bit more. It was a long segment, so I can see not giving him more time. But I kind of wish that that was extended, and then they kind of made up for that by him doing commentary with Jericho on Rampage.
Yes. And whenever Jericho was going to announce Stadium Stampede and Moxley just told him to shut up, it was so good.
Moxley just getting sick of stuff and being like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's great. It is great because
and he can get away with it, because anyone else, you're like, oh, are you scared of it? Like, he's just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm doing this instead. And you're like, okay,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, and you're like, oh yeah, it's way cooler anyway.
Yeah.
It is just so effortless for him.
We don't even know what Anarchy in the Arena is, and it sounds like it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know if they know what it is, but it sounds like it's going to be good.
Yeah, like it's my head instantly went to, it's going to be like one of those, what the WCW call them, like a bunkhouse brawl or whatever.
Yeah,
where it's basically just weapons all throughout the backstage area. Then eventually you work your way out to the ring.
Yeah, I picked it as kind of like a free for all, falls count anywhere, like.
But with them guys and the way that Eddie and them guys think, like they could end up in a river.
Right.
Like it's like they can end up anywhere.
That just reminded me of Eddie like a month ago chasing them with the TV. That was great.
That was amazing.
And then they used the TV later.
That's what I was just gonna say. The fact that they kept the TV and it made MJF mad. Like, why would you hang it back up? He just threw it in a door. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, Eddie's amazing. And I think I mentioned this to you. The people in that ring, there was Moxley, there was Jericho, there was Danielson, and the crowd was chanting for Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Which was super cool. Like, he deserves that.
He 100% deserves that. Geez, even until COVID hit and he showed up at Daly's place, I didn't know who he was. If I did, like, it was like a person I read his name. Like,
yeah, I've heard of him and like reading about results, but I've never seen him do anything.
Right. And when he showed up, he was literally an instant success.
Yeah.
He's very special. And well, I think I said it was last week or the week before. He is the modern day Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the working man. He's the guy you can relate to.
Right.
No disrespect to like Lance Archer or like Brian Cage, but one, I'm not 7 feet tall, and the other, I'm not jacked beyond belief. I'm a normal dude.
Right.
Eddie is a dude. I mean, he's even talked about it. He was a union worker in New York. He was literally the Joe Average.
Now, as you're saying that, I really want even for like a one-off Dynamite match, like just a small feud of like Eddie and Hangman.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because they kind of have a similar, like, not similar story, but they both have a like, we weren't supposed to be here. Neither of them are supposed to be here.
That is the best way to describe Eddie King. He's not supposed to be there.
I mean, Hangman clearly has the look more than Eddie does.
Right.
But no one expected that from him either. So that would be good.
That would be fantastic. Eddie is going to get a belt this year.
I feel like he should, even as like a short reign with something, just for like, he deserves something.
He does. Oh, I'd love to see him as TNT champion. Oh
yeah. I'd love to see anyone else as TNT champion, depending on what they're doing now. Well, I'll get to that later.
Yeah, we're going to get to that because I have a few ideas myself.
Yeah.
We got Swerve and Keith Lee versus Jurassic Express versus Hobbs and Starks for Double or Nothing.
Yes.
I wrote in the notes that it's triple threat.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is it could just be a three-way.
Yeah, I don't know what their rules are for this.
Yeah, so like if it's triple threat, that means anybody can pin anybody and the title can switch hands. Or if it's just a three-way, then you have to pin the champions.
I think what AEW is in the past is it's been a three. They don't follow the WWE rules of.
They don't do the triple threat. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so, but they might. But I don't think they do.
And That's
Well,
perfectly fine.
they're doing a singles match this week to hype it up too,
Yes,
so that'll be good.
yeah, and that's another three-way, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
Swerve, Jungle Boy, and Starks.
yeah,
Okay, and that's Dynamite, correct?
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's time for a new champion.
Yeah, I
Tag
think so too.
champions.
I think so too.
Jurassic Express has done a hell of a job as champions, but I don't know who I want to have them. I would love to
Yeah, I
see
mean,
Swerve
both of
and
the other two teams are so good.
yeah, and I just have to go. I'd have to go with my boy Ricky Starks. I've been a fan for too long. I'd love to see him get a.
I think they might win because they're the heels and they can beat Jurassic Express. Then we can get the spin-off, Christian feud because Christian and Jungle Boy seem to be a little thing, and then we can get a straight up Swerve Keith Lee versus Hobbs and Starks thing.
Makes total sense, and I'm in on that. That is wonderful.
Because I actually realized this recently. Swerve and Keith Lee have teamed before in some like indie promotions.
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't realize that till recently, but they're really good as a team, and I didn't expect them to be.
No, it's yeah. They are fantastic as a team. They have it down.
Yeah.
But now I thought that was all just like a natural chemistry, but now you're saying it makes.
But I think
sense
it wasn't like I think it's like previous, like they briefly they weren't like a long running team.
Oh, okay.
But,
see, I thought maybe before they went to NXT they were a team.
No, not like a lot. They were in the they were in the same company, and I think they teamed up on it. Like, but they weren't like they didn't have like matching gear or a name.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you.
But I mean, they've known each other.
Hey, let's go because they're fantastic together.
Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, I think Hobbs and Starks. I would like to see them win it.
Yeah, I'm with that. That's my boy Ricky, and I'll take that to the grave. We had Roppongi Vice challenge FTR for the Ring of Honor belts. Excuse me. Great promo that they had for the challenge. I think was it Trent with the Brentwood comment. Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Of course, FTR accepts, and I thought this match was going to be on the pay-per-view. It's not.
Yeah, I don't know when
Wednesday.
Is it on Wednesday? Okay, I wasn't sure when they were having it. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Man, Wednesday's stacked.
Dude, I know. When I was watching Dark, I was like, my God, we could do another 2 hours before the even pay-per-view hits.
Yeah.
Do you think FTR retains, or do you think they let him get rid of one of their belts?
I think FTR. Yeah, I think they're going to go after the AEW tag belts, but do they want them to have all the belts at once?
Yeah.
Maybe. I think maybe they do.
Oh, that'd be sick.
I think maybe they want like the 3 titles at the same time.
Oh, that's so good. Now, see, I was totally the opposite of that. You brought that up, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Because I want to.
But like, I mean, this could go either way as well.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's actually something I like about them adding ROH titles, and I know it makes a lot of titles. Yes. But they can move the ROH titles around, and it doesn't affect like the overarching company.
Yeah, and once ROH has its own show, I think we're going to see a little bit less. But like you brought up the point, maybe champions will float. So,
right.
But I'd like to see Roppongi Vice just because they never had the Ring of Honor belts, and they were great tag team in Ring of Honor. Leads us to the House of Black and Death Triangle announcement for the match. I thought the way they did it was super cool.
Yeah.
With the tombstone and Penta slowly taking it off. Oh, it was done to perfection. Again, I don't know who wins it though.
You would think this has been a long feud. You would think the Death Triangle win because they're the face team.
Yeah.
But I mean, House of Black kind of need a win.
That's what I was just going to say. They need something. Like they've been basically beating up scrubs.
Right.
Not that Dark Order and Fuego are scrubs, but they haven't had a meaningful match since Phoenix got hurt.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, but I hope House wins. But that match is, again, it's going to be another one where don't look away from the television, because
yeah, that could be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be. Like, them guys go and they're nonstop. See, that leads me. Could we maybe see a new member of the house to, give them the upper hand in the match?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Nothing has been hinted or anything, but I think we're going to see a bunch of surprises at the pay-per-view, in my opinion.
It won't happen, and it shouldn't happen. But if Johnny Elite joined the House of Black and changed his name to Johnny Black, I would be so happy. Even if it was for no reason, if it was like a one-off thing, like, I would love it.
And then they just beat him up. Yeah. Just like, oh, I'm Johnny Elite again. That would be amazing. Well, then I think we had the absolute best segment in AEW history. We had the Hookhausen training montage. This was gold.
Yeah, even and Danhausen's always funny, but yes, even the Tony Nese, Mark Sterling half of it was funny.
It was. It really was. Whenever Danhausen was just dangling by one arm, and Hook was just staring at him eating chips.
Hook's just kind of annoyed, but he's like, okay, sure, this guy's here.
Yeah, like, okay, I get it. Oh, it's just, that match is going to be better than people are expecting, and I don't care what anybody says. They're going to set the tone for the night.
There's going to be a hot tag to Danhausen where you think, oh, he's screwed, he's going to get destroyed, and then he's going to be amazing, and it's going to be great.
Yeah. It's it's going to be so good. Now we come to the part of the show where I think you're going to go off on a tangent. It's not going to be about Cody this time.
No, it'll involve Cody. Don't worry, it'll involve Cody.
But we had your boy Sammy, his girlfriend Tay, and Frankie Kazarian destroy the TNT title.
Right.
I actually, the destroying of the title I thought was awesome. Obviously, we're going to get a new title.
Yeah.
And I really hope they pull an old WWE move, and like Danhausen finds the broken title in the trash, and he wears it like how they gave Foley the hardcore title.
Yeah.
Before it was the hardcore title. I would love every second of that if they did that.
That's actually a really good idea.
And he would just claim that he was TNT champion every week. So it looks like we're going to get a new title.
Speaking, doesn't Dan Lambert have the other TNT title? Can't he just walk out with it?
Yeah, it was supposedly was put back in the American Top Team trophy case.
Right, but he could just walk back out and forget this ever happened. Like, be like, no, this is the title. The other one wasn't the title. Like,
yeah, this is the real title.
See, my issue with this was Sammy. They did a pretty good. All the individual matches or beats of this story have been pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
They've done when Scorpio Sky won the title back, they did a pretty good, double turn. Like, people cheered for Scorpio. Sammy was clearly the heel. That was good. I like that. When they did Sky and Paige screwing with Frankie and turning him back, that was good. I like that too.
I like that too. I like that a lot.
What I don't get is, I know Kazarian was kind of like still kind of a jerk to Sammy because Sammy's a jerk to him. I get that was some good continuity. It seems weird to have a face standing there with a heel destroying a heel's title.
Yeah, I totally.
I know there's some precedent for it. Like, I'm pretty sure Austin was a face when he threw Rock's title into the river.
That was amazing.
So I get it that maybe that's the kind of face they're trying to make him. He's like, the badass face. Yeah. It was a little weird. It was a little strange. And then like Sammy and Ty just like making out in the background.
that is I think it's hilarious.
This is what bugs me about all of it. Individually, like I said, individually, all of it is good.
Right.
Like Sammy has become an asshole. He's hanging out with Ty. Like that works, right? He's become a prick. He has the hot girlfriend. That works. Scorpio Sky's thing has worked. Ethan Page's thing has worked. Even Frankie Kazarian going back to his former tag partner and having a match and then turning on him works. Individually, it all works as like separate one-off things. It's just like as an overall story, it seems really weird.
I get it. I get what you're saying, and
I know it feels like they keep mentioning the mixed tag that they want to have.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's a weird way to just get a mixed tag match, but
and for some reason I don't even know now. Sammy wants the mixed tag. Didn't Sammy not want the mixed tag? I don't remember now.
No, they have been asking for the mixed tag.
Okay, they've been asking for it since the beginning. Okay,
yeah, since Page jumped Tay on the ramp. That was about a month or so ago.
So is Page not ready for a match? Why are they not just having this match?
I think
not in character. I know in character they're like, you don't deserve the match, but like the real reason, why are they not just having the match?
I don't know. That nobody has said anything about it like online that I have read.
Because I feel like they could do a mixed tag match and they could cover for her pretty. If she's not ready, she could do 3 moves or whatever, and like.
Yeah, I mean, look what they did with the UFC fighters, Junior Dos Santos, and like there was no way he was fully trained, and they did well.
I mean, Shaq had a pretty decent match.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely.
So like Page looked pretty good from what we've seen from her. She if she only does like a tackle and a spear and some kicks, like yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's all she would need to do, unless they're just playing up the Dan Lambert prick character.
Yeah, it seems like it's all a lot of stuff happening and none of it works as a story. And like individually, I like all their things. Like I said, also Ty Conti and this is a tangent going back to before. Ty Conti and Anna Jay had that really good, crazy, no holds barred, brutal match with Bunny and Penelope, and that was great. And now they're kind of just like, Ty Conti is Sammy's girlfriend, and Anna Jay just showed up, and like they don't have anything going on. Like it reminds me, and this is where I go into Cody. It's kind of like the Cody. There's a term that I don't know if you've heard online that people use, like the Codyverse. We're gonna have Cody stuff make sense outside of Cody.
Oh yeah. I know.
It all just relates to him. Like all of his storylines were like he's a separate guy from the rest of the company. It feels like this is like an extended Codyverse. Like it's just like there's a lot of good stuff happening, and then they're just like, and let's put all the weird stuff into this storyline and have it kind of be they're all kind of heels, but they're not, and I don't know. It's very weird.
Very weird and confusing.
Like if Sammy faced Scorpio Sky now in a match, who do we want to win? Who is the audience supposed to be?
I think the audience turn on both of them at this point.
Because like I thought it was Scorpio Sky, but now they had him turn on Frankie.
Right.
So now he's a heel, and that was good. Like he should be a heel. Go for it. Like yeah.
No.
If they were separate heels, if Men of the Year were heels on one side and Sammy and Ty were heels, and they had different opponents who were faces and they weren't involved with one another, it would be fine.
And I couldn't agree with you more on all of this, and that's where I was going to go. Well, as soon as we talk about Ethan Page being money on the mic, please.
Yeah, he's great, and he's kind of like left. I mean, he does the promos, but he's kind of like he's the extra guy.
I want him. This is where I was going to get to. I want him to slowly turn on Men of the Year. I think that would be a great storyline.
That would be good. Yeah, that would be good.
Just because then it would bring all that together.
Yeah.
Then there would be a legit face.
Right.
Where were you all this time? That's all you cared about was Sammy. No one gave a shit about Sammy.
Right. That would make sense. And I don't even need it to be like, 1980s wrestling where like this guy trains and says eats his vitamins and prays, and the other guy is dastardly. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But like, who does anybody like in this storyline? Like, honestly, like, I just want them to move on, and like I just want them to have this match with Paige Van Zandt. It'll probably be fine, and then like let's separate them for the next 5 years, and Sammy never goes near the TNT title or like Scorpio Sky ever again.
And I read a point online this morning that somebody brought up, and I should have wrote down who it was, but it was a fantastic tweet. So whoever you are, can't give you credit. They said it would be great if the company doesn't feel that Sammy's ready for the AEW title picture,
Right.
have him challenge for the Ring of Honor title.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That's a good.
Exactly.
That's a good use of Ring of Honor.
Exactly. It would give Grisham a little bit of national TV time too. It would. That's what I would like to see, and like I said,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Didn't even think about that till this morning. So
And
once I read that,
then he could just be a heel against.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all.
Yeah. It would work itself out perfectly.
Yeah. This feels like how it's the opposite of Cody. You know how Cody, like, everyone booed him, but he refused to be a heel.
Yeah.
This seems like people liked before the Ty Conti thing. People liked Ty Conti. People liked Sammy. People liked Scorpio Sky. Yeah. And now we're just like, now they're all kind of heels. Why? They just are. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Well, that'll bring us to Anna Jay, and she got a match for the TBS title at Double or Nothing, which Double or Nothing, 3 women's matches. Go AEW. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that card is ridiculous. We'll probably talk about this another time, but like that's 11 matches so far. And apparently the I think it was Meltzer said today that the mixed tag, the Paige Van Zandt mixed tag, is still a possibility.
Ooh. Well, there you go.
I hope they do it just because I want a new storyline.
And well, like we talked about last week, I do think a lot of storylines will end at this pay-per-view, and a lot we're going to turn the page, and there's going to be a lot of new things. Like I said earlier, unless they're ready to put Jade in the women's title picture, I think Jade stays the TBS champion.
Yeah. I would like to see something with Anna Jay, just for myself, with Anna Jay and Ty Conti, just to be like, oh, wait, weren't you guys best friends?
Yeah.
How come now? And like, I kind of want her to be like, oh, yeah, Sammy's a dick. That's why I don't hang around with you anymore, or something. Just like a little thing.
Just, we used to be friends, and now your boyfriend's too cool.
Right. Something like that. Just throw in like a one, and then that's fine. You never have to mention that again. But like, yeah, I would like it to be mentioned.
This just popped in my head as you were talking. What if they did, because this from what you referenced earlier, when Anna Jay and Ty Conti had their match against Penelope and the Bunny. What if Anna Jay just quote unquote goes nuts, pulls the barbed wire out, and gets DQ'd, but beats the hell out of Jay?
Okay, Jay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Like it doesn't. It doesn't mess with, Jade's strength, or it doesn't make her look bad, because for an object, chair, bat, barbed wire around her arm again,
right?
But it also makes Anna Jay like, okay, she's not someone you mess with.
Yeah, and she needs something. She needs
some. Yes.
Yeah.
See, I just thought of that.
That sounds good.
I hope they swerve us a little bit with that.
I hope they do something with that, because otherwise it's just a random, like, they put her up there just to lose to Jade. Which,
and then
someone has to lose to Jade, but it seems a little weird.
Yeah, maybe, like I said, still give her the win, but make Anna be disqualified, or
right.
Oh,
that would make sense.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. I'm trying to think if there's any. You brought up Penelope before. It'd be awesome to see Penelope as a baddie.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's injured.
Yeah, she hasn't been around.
No, she hasn't. Then again, you could throw that in there too. Oh,
right.
We had Dynamite and Rampage were super strong shows this week.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a there was a bad segment on either show. I'm really liking the things that Tony is doing with all the little like mini segments.
Yeah.
And still keeping like the 3 to 4 match, stay with 3 to 4 matches, but just adding the little like challenges and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, Rampage needed a little bit of a. I mean, right now it's kind of like shorter, faster Dynamite.
Yeah.
And they need to do something with it so that it's a little bit, because it's not Dynamite. Dynamite's as much as you can say, oh, they're both the top shows. Like, no, Dynamite's the top show.
Oh yeah, Dynamite's the A show, sure.
So, yeah, mess around with Rampage a little bit. Try little things like that. Like, you can do it.
And like I said, I really like the way that it works because it breaks up the monotony, but it can forward a storyline without people having to be there.
Right.
It was great. Now this leads us to had an actual fan question. It's from my buddy Pondo from Twitter. He wanted to know what our thoughts are on AEW bringing back managers into pro wrestling. So Pondo, we're going to answer this for you. So I'll let you start, Rick.
Do you think he means that they've currently brought back managers, or should they bring back more managers?
I think he went with the fact that they're actually using managers,
right?
Like WWE.
That's what I assumed. Only when I read it again now did I think of the other option.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, managers add a lot of value, and they've kind of been falling out of favor in the last 20 years. Outside of maybe Paul Heyman. Like they don't necessarily need one Men of the Year, but like Dan Lambert could be a really good manager.
Oh,
like an obnoxious jerk manager. He's just managing the wrong people right now. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I think he's there to be the mouthpiece for his UFC people.
Right. Yeah. Because
when they get in the ring, they're not going to. Well, they're used to just saying the F-bomb, and they don't give those guys a live mic.
Right.
Well, no, do it, Tony. It'd be awesome. But yeah,
like Mark Sterling, he's been great. Like Jade, kind of getting sick of him, has been great. Like even when Tully Blanchard was there, when he was with FTR, like it worked. They're kind of old school guys, having an old school guy with them. I mean, Arn Anderson being around, he never really did much, threatened to shoot people, but it was fine.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I forgot about that. But
I like it. I mean, it's a good way to use legends. Someone like a Billy Gunn, or he wrestles occasionally, or Sting wrestles occasionally, but they are also managers, and I like it. I think it works well.
I totally agree with you. I mean, we're kids of the '80s, and so is my buddy Pondo here. And I mean, we grew up with Jimmy Hart and Bobby the Brain Heenan and Reverend Slick and all those guys. Like, those guys weren't wrestlers. I mean, at one time they were. Freddie Blassie, all that. Like, I mean, they would just put random dudes with them and make them stars. Like,
right. What I liked about then and what I like about now is with Mark Sterling. He's with he hangs around MJF sometimes. He's with Jade sometimes. He's with Tony Nese. But like, it's not like now Jade and Tony Nese are friends. He just managed
contract.
It's a business contract, and that was what they did in the '80s. I mean, there were a lot of guys managed by Jimmy Hart or Slick, but they weren't necessarily a stable. They all just had the same manager.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, could you imagine King Kong Bundy if he was by himself? No, because he would be terrible. Put him with Heenan though.
Right.
All he had to do was stand there and grunt and splash people.
And it got to the point where you were right. Like, yeah, you introduce a new guy and he's nobody, but he's with Heenan, so he must be a big deal.
Yep. and that's it. AEW has the potential to. There's a lot of these legends out there that could be making money. That's I'm just trying to find a better way to put it. But yeah, look at Jake the Snake.
Right.
I don't personally think Lance Archer needed him, but he makes Lance Archer better because
like
he's Jake the Snake.
Like it would work, but like the Blackpool Combat Club without William Regal wouldn't be as effective.
No. You
like
put him
Regal.
in there,
Regal adds a lot to that group. Like they'd be a great team on their own, but Regal makes it better.
100%. And there's just so many of these guys out there that give them some TV time. Let them be themselves. Like they understand it. That they were brought up in the business when the business was quote unquote the business.
Right.
They would totally get how to do it and what this guy needs or what this girl needs
like you're saying, there's a lot of options. I mean, even within AEW, there's Mark Henry or Paul White or whoever they could be a manager.
Absolutely.
And it gives options for older guys. It gives options for smaller guys. Yeah, it's I like it.
Yeah. To the excuse me, to the Mark Henry point. Mark Henry and Will Hobbs are apparently very close, and Mark Henry said it was a couple weeks ago or maybe a month or so ago on Dark that him and Hobbs got this relationship going because Hobbs went to him and asked him how to use his size. Will was a little, I don't want to say confused, but just like, I want to be a brute, but still I want more than like one move,
Right.
And Henry said, well, we stepped in the ring and we had a little go about, and I let him pick my brain, and I told him some things. And now look at Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs is not that he was boring before. He's doing a little more in the ring. He's playing bigger, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even their association with Taz, like that made them more important. Like,
oh yeah, gee, we forgot
I didn't know who Ricky Starks was, but he's with Taz, so I'll pay attention to him. Like it.
Yeah, you trust Taz's word. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Well, that's the end of the list here for me. Do you have anything to add, sir?
Not that I can think of right now, other than that Double or Nothing is going to be crazy.
Double or Nothing is
this Dynamite. We're not going to go into it, but this Dynamite, we didn't even talk about the MJF Steel Cage Sean Spears Wardlow thing.
I know.
And that's how much is happening. That we mentioned a lot of great stuff, and there's also that. It's going to be good.
And well, if we're gonna, we could bring that up here real quick here at the end. What do you think they're gonna keep this big Damo guy that Sean Spears wrestled? Because that dude looked impressive to me.
Yeah, he looked good. I think he'll end up on. I mean, that he could be an ROH person if they're hiring ROH people.
That he would make sense to be there. But that dude, when I was like, oh, big Damo, okay, this dude's just gonna get destroyed. I mean, he did, but he wasn't a guy that you could tell that guy knew how to be a pro wrestler.
Right.
He wasn't just some big doofus that just was green and learning. No, that guy knows what he's doing in there.
Right.
I had never heard of him personally.
No, I'd never heard of him either.
But if they did sign him, I hope to see him in Ring of Honor or someplace, because I thought he did a heck of a job.
Yeah, he did a good job. And I don't know how they're going to get I have my theories, but I mean, with MJF as the ref, how are they going to get Wardlow's winning? I mean, obviously he has to fight MJF, obviously, yes. But it'll be interesting to see how they make MJF count the pin.
Well, I have a theory on this. I think what's going to happen is MJF will be holding Wardlow. Spears is going to go to smash him with the chair. Wardlow moves. MJF's knocked out. Powerbomb Symphony. Then Wardlow grabs MJF's hand and makes him count it.
That makes sense. Yeah. So that's something along the lines that I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it's Wardlow outsmarts them again.
Right.
It makes MJF count it, or he counts to two, and then he stops and Wardlow pushes his hand down.
Right. Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
It'll be fantastic. Well, thank you everybody for listening again. And next week, I'm feeling we're something a little different because it is a big pay-per-view week. So
Sounds good.
And just everybody, thank you for listening. And we did get we do have a Twitter, but we don't have it necessarily set up yet. So that's coming in the next few weeks. Keep an eye out. I'm sure we'll bother you with, hey, follow us. And we have an Instagram too. But that's all on the back, not the back burner, but it's coming soon.
Yeah.
So Rick, it's been fun yet again, and we'll see you guys next week. Later.